Esports Nutshell News, everything on the world of esports in a video nutshell. For this week's top story, Whalen Rozelle from League of Legends Esports reports that Riot permanently bans Chris Badawi from Riot sanctioned leagues. Christopher Mykles Monte Cristo gets a 1-year ban, and they have to sell their team by May 18th. Chris and Sean Shim, owners of Team Dragon Knights, are indefinitely banned until a review January 2019, and they need to sell their team as well by May 18th. Why, do you ask? Christopher Mykles had a deal that he wasn't allowed to have with Chris Badawi that gave him a 50% stake in the company once his previous ban was lifted, and Badawi was still very active in running the organization, and there were reports of confrontations, refusal of payment for services, and creating an unsafe environment. Team Dragon Knights got roped in when they hid their overlapping financial and operations relationship when Riot asked them about it. As if two teams weren't enough, let's throw in a third. Team Impulse fails to pay their players on time and provide valid contracts for their players after multiple interventions from league officials, so they are ousted from Riot sanctioned leagues and have until May 18th to sell their spot as well. Christopher Mykles commented on the situation saying, "Riot's not judge, jury, and executioner." But Chris, they are. CML from Daily Dot reminds us that Hasbro's Magic the Gathering makes $300 million a year and provides $250,000 annual prize pool tournament, which is on par with Hearthstone. But Hasbro's previous Wizards CEO, Greg Leeds, actually pushed to eliminate their Pro Tour, even going so far as cutting the $11,000 a year support they gave to each of their top-tier players, which, due to backlash, will actually resume next year. Hasbro's CEO Brian Goldner expresses that Hasbro wants to lift up the game's storylines using their upcoming Magic Digital Next project, moving gameplay more to digital, so maybe Magic will be more like the Dota, and the Hearthstone will be more like the League of Legends. Regardless, the future's unsure for Magic's pro players, so let's take a moment of silence for those going through this right now. Anders and Semmler launched their new RoomOnFire podcast, State of CS. Esports Hall of Fame announces their Counter-Strike voting panelists. As you can see on the right, UBC wins their second League of Legends North American Collegiate Championship and $180,000. The International eGames Committee announces their advisory board members. Here's the list. West Ham Hammers signs their first esports player, 24-year-old Sean Allen Dragon, to represent the organization playing FIFA. Dolby sponsors a $10,000 Overwatch LAN tournament at Esports Arena in California. Ask Joshi and Fishsticks will be hosting the event. Red Bull lists the top 3 League of Legends prize pool owners. Pawn at number 3 with $306,000. Benji at number 2 with $466,000, and Faker at number 1 with $504,000. Machinima announces their platform Mach 1, providing esports data and analytics to potential sponsors, and when they're hooked in, they can get involved with their Machinima preferred media solutions. Timo Brattigam from Esports Observer reports German-based Bundesliga club FC Schackelen-Fell purchases Elements and their EULCS spot. And the Berlin Pirate Party files a motion to recognize esports in Germany. Sorry, Timo, for slaughtering that. All Work, All Play documentary launches on Netflix, chronicling teams competing in Season 9 of the Intel Extreme Masters League of Legends tournament and the sacrifices individuals make to compete at the highest level. Twitch partners with Next Generation Esports to produce the Rocket League Championship Series in Burbank with a $75,000 prize pool, with 20,000 people signing up so far, and 300,000 people watched the first week qualifiers. No big deal. At DreamHack Austin, Counter-Strike Splice Stand-In Players Summit pulls the clutch to win the map, but then walks through his own Molotov fire, and CLG comes back to win the map and beats Splice. Remember, it's not over until the stand-in walks through his own fire and dies. EA announces their next upcoming Battlefield game will be set in World War I, but will have some semi and fully automatic rifles that were not around at the time. So as far as historical accuracy goes, it's less Lincoln and more Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And while EA goes back in time, Activision goes to infinity and beyond, or more specifically, Infinite Warfare, whose trailer set to a rock rendition of David Bowie's Space Oddity gets 1.8 million dislikes and counting. Fans of the game responded with, "Ground control to Ben Chakowski, your game is dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Ben Chakowski?" Nevada Gaming Control Board will hold a committee meeting May 13th to talk esports, led by Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval, hearing representatives from organizations like ESL and Echo Fox who will explain what esports is and what it could offer Vegas. Pilgrim Media Group, makers of My Big Fat Fabulous Life, and ESL partnered to create digital programming for their 24/7 esports channel, facilitated through Lionsgate president of Interactive and Ventures and Games, Peter Levin, who invested in Pilgrim last year. ESL also announces their European and Australian New Zealand Challenge Division Cups, each with a $5,000 prize pool. They also announced their ESL premiership with the largest Indian-based esports tournament prize pool of $64,000, culminating in a December grand final. World Esports Association unveils their founding members. When asked what they do here, they replied, "We are good at dealing with esports. Why can't esports understand that?" Blizzard moves from ranking players 1 to 50 to a tier system with ranks 1 through 5 within each tier. When you reach rank 1 within your tier, you can then compete in a promotion match to move up to the next tier. Some of the tier names may sound familiar. Hearts, Bronze, Horseshoes, Clovers and Balloons, Pots of Gold and Platinum, Diamond Master 2. Jeffrey Lynn, Riot's lead game designer of social systems focused on eliminating negative player behavior, pieces out of the company. He explains the reason he left was to, quote, "to get the f*** out of these eating sucker site. I ain't got time for the f***ed up anymore. Lynn out." So the people watching at this point have been longtime viewers of the show. So first, I want to say thank you for watching these videos that have gotten better over time in this iterative process, thanks to your support and constructive comments that you've left in the comment section, on Twitter, and in the esports subreddit, which is a surprisingly constructive community. So thank you. I've been working on a weekly full show called Esports Nutshell Weekly, and starting next week, the Nutshell News segment will be a part of that larger show instead of its own standalone clip. Luckily, it will be the first segment in the show, so it's not that much of a change. The Nutshell Weekly show has a lot more iterations to come before it gets to its final state. That's right, this isn't even my final form. So if you have any specific feedback in the process, it will be most welcomed. So thank you. And because I made a promise,